Hi, I'm Martin, and welcome to Upgrade Your Day, the podcast. So today, I'm laughing because we're about to cover a lady in a big puddle. Bruce is driving. We are heading to a show that I do every year, and it's a one-off, a one night only. Do it every year. Haven't done it for the last few years for obvious reasons, and I love it because it's actually an audience that are paid to come and see me perform, so they're very supportive. And we're just driving to the venue now, so I thought I'd start this last podcast. I can't believe it, Bruce. We've done another 16 episodes this season, which is pretty amazing. Bruce, by the way, is my husband, who's now clapping. Thank you very much. It's amazing how we've gone through them, from Stella with her crystals, the lovely, gorgeous actress Jenny Seagrove talking about mindful moments, right through to Natalie talking about flowers, and Malcolm talking about writing. We've gone through the works, and I cannot wait for you to hear season 3, because I've already got 5 people lined up who are brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So over the course of spring into summer, we'll be recording them, ready to come back with season 3, bigger and better than before. But back to today. I'm in the car traveling to my show, and I think it's quite important today, Bruce, isn't it? Because my mindfulness practice has, obviously it's been the last 3 years that I've really stepped it up, even though I've been mindful for about 20 years. And look, they're putting books in the telephone box. That's good. We've here in Eton we have a telephone box, and it's a library. I think a lot of people do it now, and it's brilliant because there's really good books in this little library. I filled it with my Jackie Collins books the other day and put a little post on our local site saying if anybody's a big fan of Jackie Collins, go and grab your book from the telephone box. I don't know if they're there or not, I don't know, but anyway, it's always good to check out your local telephone box for a library book. Back in the day, you used to check them out for other things, really, didn't you? But anyway, enough of that. Back to what we were trying to talk about. So it's my show today, and normally I'm really, really anxious, full of anxiety, full of nerves. But how would you say I am today, Bruce?
For the first time in the 12 years I've known you, it's the first time I've seen you organised. You're not stressed. I've not been shouted at or had things thrown at me, or the emotional breakdown of, oh, why am I doing this, blah blah blah. I've had none of that, so it's been quite a pleasant ride for myself.
It's true. It's really odd. And actually, I think because I'm more mindful of wanting to enjoy tonight's show, because like I said, it's a supportive audience, and I always worry, are they going to like it? And actually, there's no better audience than ones that have actually come because they want to see you. A lot of the holiday parks I perform at, no one knows you're turning up. You're the act for the night. There's another act later on, the next night. And so you've got to really win them over. Luckily, over my 10 years of holiday parks, I've done all right. But tonight is a great audience. But I never really appreciate it until I'm on the stage, which means I have a whole day of being anxious. But today I am just a lot calmer about it, and I'm really looking forward to it, which sometimes the actual planning of something is the enjoyment. What is it they say in our business about, in show business, they say getting the gig's the exciting part, doing it is the bit of a chore, really. I think we were like that also with our wedding, weren't we, Bruce? I think we enjoyed the build up to it more than, we loved the weekend. It was our favourite weekend ever. He's got a shocked face now. It was our favourite weekend ever, of course. But the build up, every time we booked something like the photographer, we used to celebrate and, and go and have a drink and have some nice food and just celebrate it.
We had wedding meetings weekly.
We had wedding meetings weekly, which was just as exciting as the wedding itself. He's now shaking his head. So it's really interesting. I just wanted to document on this last podcast of season 2 this kind of journey of how in the past it's been a very different day to what it is now. And I think by me wanting to enjoy the day means that I've been more organised than I ever have been. In fact, everything was packed up last night by about 5-6 o'clock in the evening. And usually, what am I doing, Bruce, of an evening before my show?
It gets to midnight and we're still sticking sequence on things and trying to find things, and yes, and then this morning we would have been up at 6 and we would have been trying to find things and glue things and stick things,
Yeah, there's been a lot of hot glue gunning. I am one of these people, being a bit of a control freak, as I've mentioned before on my podcast. I will make an entire outfit out of sequins, feather boas, material, and a glue gun. Who needs to stitch anything when you've got a glue gun? It might not last that long, but it lasts long enough for me. And actually, with my character, who's meant to be calamitous and it's meant to be so bad that he's good, really, it works. If an outfit falls apart, it adds to the comedy. So and also, actually, talking about it, the fact that I'm even recording this podcast on the morning of my show is great. And of course, my mind instantly goes to the negative, like we all do, where we think, hang on a minute, am I too chilled? Am I too relaxed? Why am I recording a podcast at 10:30 on the morning of my yearly one night only show? Is it all going to go horribly wrong because I'm so relaxed? You know, that little demon that pops up and says, hello, here I am. Well, do you know what? I'm going to pop him back in his little box. I'm going to gaffer tape it over, like most of my costumes, gaffer taped over, and I'm going to stick him in the corner because he's not wanted. And worst case scenario, well, actually, I don't think there is. I think everybody will have a lovely time, and that's the important thing. What's also exciting about today, and added to the chaos, which isn't chaos, is the fact that today I'm producing the very first Upgrade Your Day event. Yes, creating fun, positive and inspiring shows. And today is the first one. We're doing a tea and cake with Joyce Grenfell. Now, you might have heard Nicola speak on episode 15. She is Joyce Grenfell, and she does a lovely one-woman show. It's an hour long. Malcolm, who's on episode 14, is the writer, and he also plays the piano, and it's a lovely, lovely show. We've done really well with ticket sales. It's a really positive show about the original Victoria Wood, I like to call her, but you know, she's been known for so many things. And I'm producing that today, and everything is in order, everything is on a to-do list, and I think it will be okay. So sometimes maybe there's a lesson to be learned with regards to doing other things can take your mind off some of the more things that you would normally worry about. So my show, I'd normally get wound up about the fact that I'm also producing a show this afternoon. It makes it easier. What's that all about? I don't know. Maybe we'll discuss it in season 3. But that's happening today. I'm going to let you know a bit later on in this podcast how it goes. But as we drive, I'm going to give my husband a little bit of peace and quiet, and I'm going to do a little 3-minute upgrade. I'm just going to sit and close my eyes and just put all my attention on my breath and just have gratitude for today, because the fact that I'm producing a show and performing in a show, there's gratitude in that. Because about 10 years ago, I wish I could have been doing that. So that's very important to remember. So I'll catch up with you in a little bit. Let's see what happens today. So we are now ready for Joyce Grenfell, tea with Joyce Grenfell. We've set up, everything's looking wonderful. We've teched, we've sound checked. It's all gone swimmingly well. I guess this means when you do to-do lists, and actually if you have a copy of the companion book, which is available from our website, I might as well just get a plug in right now. I keep getting my W's wrong. The other day I did 4, now I've done 2. www.upgradeyourday.co.uk. You will be able to find the companion book, and in the back of it is some lots and lots of pages of to-do lists. I think today it might be, that is the thing, to-do lists. That could be the name of this podcast, I don't know. But it really makes a difference because everything's swimming along, everything's being done, it's all good. We've got a lovely audience of people for the show today, so I'm a very proud producer of Upgrade Your Day events. It's all going well and I'm quite calm. I've just done a 3-minute upgrade where I sat and did a little bit of self-compassion, a little bit of gratitude and a bit of breath work. So I've set myself up for now. I'll probably do another 3-minute upgrade meditation before tonight's show. I'll just grab somewhere. I might even go and sit in the toilet. It doesn't matter as long as I'm somewhere by myself just for 3 minutes, and we'll see how tonight's show goes. But so far it's going very well, and it's to do with to-do lists. That's what this section is about, to-do lists. Give it a go. Right, let's get on with the show. So I'm just going to guide you through a 3-minute upgrade meditation now, which is what I've been doing today with a little bit of breath work, self-compassion, gratitude. It's helped me through today, that's for sure. So if you'd like to join in, then really, preferably, it would be somewhere that you can sit, where you're by yourself, or certainly you can just take a moment to close your eyes without any disturbance. Wherever that may be, just find a place right now, and we're just going to do this, or come back to this moment if you need to wait for later on. So I'm just going to invite you to sit, just to rest, and make yourself comfortable however that is for you. You can be cross-legged, you can be lying down, you can be sat on a sofa, a chair, as long as it's a dignified position, I like to say. And just take a moment to just stop, to rest, and I invite you to close your eyes and place all your attention on the breath. We're just going to enjoy this moment of rest, breathing in and breathing out. And if your mind's already wandering, just bring it back to the breath. It will happen, it's absolutely fine, that's part of the meditation, but just bring all your attention back to the breath. You can even do a count of 5 in and a count of 5 out, if that helps. Just be aware of how that feels right now. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I invite you in your own time to take the biggest breath you've taken so far today. Breathing in and breathing out, you can release it however you wish. Take a big breath and just be aware of how that feels today. And then I just invite you to think of something you're grateful for today. It could be something very small, like the way somebody smiled at you today. Whatever it may be, just think of something that you're grateful for right now. And maybe a few other things might come to you. Just be aware of them. Be aware of how that makes you feel. And if you wish to smile, it puts a smile on your face, and just raise a corner of your mouth. Just enjoy that moment right now. And again, if your mind wanders, just bring it back to something you might be grateful for right now. And I invite you now to just place a hand on your heart. And just be aware of how that feels. Just placing your hand gently over your heart, being aware of the warmth, of the pressure, how it feels, just resting there gently. And you can say a little mantra just to yourself. May I be well, may I be safe, I've got this. I've got this. And then gently bring your hand back down and just take these last few moments to place the attention back on the breath. Just being aware of how that feels right now. Just enjoying these last few moments of just sitting. And in your own time, I just invite you now to gently open your eyes. Maybe have a little stretch. Reach out, reach up. Maybe move your head slightly side to side. Have a big yawn if you need to. And there's your little 3-minute. Sometimes it can seem a little rushed. It can seem quite quick. But the more you do it, the more you might just enjoy the little gratitude part. Or maybe just when you place the hand on your heart, that could be your 3 minutes. It could just be the breath, whether it's counting or just being able to breathe naturally and just rest for a few moments. Whatever it is for you, that's what I've been doing today to get me through. So it's the day after the very first Upgrade Your Day produced event show malarkey, and I'm actually at the Theatre Royal Windsor, my other third home. We've got a charity event on tonight. It never stops at the moment. The summer is coming. It's getting busy. I'm here with the lovely Mike, who did season 1, episode something or another. He is married to the lovely Nicola, who performed in Joyce Grenfell yesterday. Mike, how did it go? Come on, tell us.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't think it could have gone better.
No.
It's one of those things, I think it's the anticipation. One's nervous beforehand, you have sleepless nights, you're worried how it's going to go, and then afterwards you say, what was I worried about? Yes. Because everybody literally came out and said, Joyce Grenfell lives in Nicola. Now, I've always known Nicola do this Joyce Grenfell show, and I know it always goes down well.
Yeah.
But she's always nervous before it goes on.
Yeah.
She's largely worried about forgetting her words. And I'm more worried because I'm sort of her stage manager.
Yeah.
When she goes and I set everything up, I'm more worried that the mics are going to go down.
Yeah.
So it's not me performing this time. My worry is more of the technical side of things. So when it all comes together, and I've got to say the venue yesterday was outstanding.
Yeah, we have to do a shout out for the Old Court in Windsor. If you want to go and support, because it's tough business at the moment, if you want to support an arts centre, the Old Court in Windsor is fantastic. What a great bunch of people. And do you know what, Mike? Actually, it makes a big difference, doesn't it? Because they were so lovely and so supportive. And when you're doing a show and you're producing something for the first time, to have that support means everything.
You sort of felt almost instantly a weight was lifted because we'd had the anticipation beforehand, and I'm thinking, I hope all the mics will work, I hope this works and the lights work. To find a crew that was so professional and say, sorry, we can take care of that. Yeah. You sort of relax and go, I don't have to worry about that. Yeah. And Nicola said, all I had to worry about was doing the show, Malcolm to play the piano, and I found I didn't even have to worry about the sound because they were so good. So I sat back more and enjoyed the show, just watching as a husband, watching his wife on the stage going, this is going down really well. And I think Nicola rose to the occasion because they were laughing so much that she was able to work the audience. And it's only been a week since she last did it. So for her, she said to get it out again and do it a second time was brilliant. And of course, we went home afterwards and you look back and say, wasn't that a brilliant day? The whole day with your show as well. We just went, the whole day was, aren't we lucky that we do something we love doing? Everybody afterwards thoroughly enjoyed themselves. And a lot of the audience are quite, there were some elderly people in the audience. Yeah. And for them to come up to and say, we don't have shows that we can go and see anymore. Everything's changing. And for them to say, it was something we felt really comfortable to come and watch. Yeah. They're quite old, elderly now. And they came along and had a great afternoon. And that made us feel very good, actually.
It did. And as Upgrade Your Day, it's all about positive, inspiring events. Just happy, fun events to do and to put on, whatever that may be. And I think that's what was so great about starting the event side of this yesterday with that show, because it was just full of laughter. Yeah. I mean, she was hilarious.
I mean, Joyce Grenfell, she always talked about how she had a joy of life. And I think there's a lot to be said for that. I think the world is quite a serious place at the moment. And there's a lot going on in the world. And I think we have to look on life a little differently and try and find joyous moments so that you can get through some of the crap that's going around and the bills and life and responsibility.
Well, that brings us on to my show. Because that was all sequins and feathers and YMCA. And I was saying earlier on, Mike, about how in the past I get so nervous, I rush because I'm anxious, I'm trying to read an audience. How did you feel I was yesterday? Did you think I was any different? Because Bruce said in 12 years he's known me, I was completely different yesterday. I was organised, I was calm, because of my mindfulness practice. What do you think?
I think you were calm because normally you can get a little spiky and a little bit beforehand. Don't disturb me and don't come anywhere near me because I'm... But actually...
I'm not a diva. I am not a diva.
Actually, this was one where you were totally approachable. Nothing seemed to be a problem. You were organising 2 shows, your own show, and I've never seen you so stress-free. And I think that came across in the show because you just came down there, and Nicola actually pointed this out as well. She said... It didn't look like you were trying. It just looked like you were just enjoying yourself. Yeah. And I had 2 friends who were in, who'd never seen you before. I hate to say it, they'd never heard of you before.
How dare they?
They're performers, they're West End performers. And they just said, your joy and your enthusiasm just rubbed off on everybody. And I said, look at this audience. She said, how do you get an audience going like this? I said, you've got an audience that wants to enjoy themselves. They see you enjoying yourself, so they enjoy themselves. And actually, it was just spiraled. Yeah. The energy in the room just became, and the finale, which you'll see on the video that I made, you just see everybody just having a good time. Yeah. You couldn't have looked out in that audience and said, is anybody out there having a really tough time in their lives? You couldn't tell.
No, it was joyous.
It was joyous. And as Joyce Grenfell used to say, joy of life.
Yeah.
Her shows in the past always talking about joy. And I think you've got that. You've hit the nail on the head with that. You came out there in your sequins and said, you lot are going to enjoy yourselves whether you like it or not.
Yes, it's true, actually. And also just being able to, what I really want to do is to make tickets affordable, because not everyone can afford the theatre. People can't afford to do that all the time. So just trying to make it so that, I mean, obviously, it's a business. You've got to make a bit of money, you've got to put bread on the table. But at the same time, just making it affordable for everyone and putting on as many of these little shows as we possibly can moving forward.
Well, I think there are venues cropping up now which I'd never heard of before, and this is one of them. This is a relatively new venue, only about 150 to 180 people. But if you provide tickets, less than £20 for an hour's entertainment, and you go and have a drink or something, there's not a lot to go wrong with that. Even if the show isn't quite up to what you would expect or you fancied, you haven't parted with, you sort of say, like the sort of Money in the West, then you're not parted with £150 a ticket. No. That show, I'd better be enjoying that show for £150, even £50 a ticket. Yeah. You take a family of 4, it's a lot of money. Yeah. So I think you've struck a chord there with making the tickets accessible, so you can do a little bit of experimental theatre, a little something. Come along and try it. It's 15 quid. Yeah. Well, I think that's blooming good value. You can't even get to the cinema for £15.
No, not nowadays.
No, you can't even get in the cinema.
Well, I tell you what, it's been a real experience and it's lovely. And coming to the end of season 2, this is the last podcast. It's a lovely way to finish it. It's new horizons for Upgrade Your Day. Try and put these positive, inspiring events out there. And I hope if you're listening to this, you will support as much as you possibly can. And I'll try and do a few things online, actually, because that's another thing to reach people that can't necessarily come to the theatre. You make it even a bit cheaper online. So who knows what we might do. But I just want to say a big thank you to all of you for listening to season 2, these 16 episodes. You now have, ready for this, Mike? 32 episodes to go back on. So we've got a few months now until we're back. So if you want to check out any episodes, listen to them again, or ones you might have missed, go back over them. They're on my website, I've got a problem with the W's at the moment. I keep getting it wrong. I say 2 or I say 4. www.upgradeyourday.co.uk. Check out the podcast on there, or Spotify or Audible or wherever you get your podcast, and have a listen, and keep checking out the website for lots of really exciting things. And if you just want to message me, just send a message through the website and say hello. But thank you for listening to this season. It's been a joy. Right, thank you so much for listening. Take care. Have a great day.